to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, chat? Let me bring the music down over here, and I'm just checking when the next game is for the Maple Leafs, and that is tomorrow, because I know TH is in the chat, and he's saying Kings for the win. Hopefully not Kings for the win, but with the way the Leafs are going, heading into Game 6, you know, if they go into Game 7... With the Maple Leafs track record, Game 7 is never a good thing for the Maple Leafs. So hopefully they're able to clutch it up in Game 6. And also I think Game 7 is an away game, or I think it's a home game. It doesn't matter. Game 7 is never a good thing for us. But you said Kings, and Kings are also playing tomorrow, so not today. But the Kings are looks like they're one game away from knockout for Kings, buddy. Not sure if Kings are actually even gonna make it at this point. Very much like the Senators over there. Obviously, we'll see what happens tomorrow. A couple games going on right now. The Canadians are losing to Washington Capitals. You got the Panthers and the Lightning. But anyways, you're here usually for the stock market, for the stonks. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of the movers today. Some of the action that we got to play out on the market. Overall, it was... you know, a nothing burger day, I guess. That's not the right way to put it, though, because there was quite a bit of action, especially in pre-market as the 8 o'clock, 8:30 numbers started to move the market, and they actually moved the market to the downside. However, we spent a good amount of time the rest of the day just kind of slowly going back up, and then a lot of time actually just around yesterday's low. So too many setups. There weren't actually too many setups to take advantage of. You would start off looking short on the day maybe, and then you know, those trades would not work out, and the market would kind of just walk all the way back to the north side. Thankfully, some of the stocks that I mentioned yesterday for us played out exactly as I said that they might, right? For example, a Snapchat 750 area, it said this would give you a very good risk to reward long if you were looking for it. But the chances of me trading it are very low, and that's exactly how it played out. I didn't really trade it, but you got a good 5R, 4R win, or even, depending on how tight was your risk based on your entry, you could have gotten an even bigger risk to reward win on Snapchat just for looking at the 750 area, or you can even had a short from $8 all the way back down to 750 off the open too. That was a trade I was actually looking to do. I was offering into 799, and you can see how today's high was actually 798, so did not get filled, and I just let that stock go away from me, and sadly no shorts on that for me today. But as the market did keep going up for the rest of the day, I didn't find too many opportunities where risk and reward just made sense for me to throw some money around and put risk on. So was very patient until some opportunities lined up later on in the day, which was CEP. CEP took out the high a day, pulled back and started holding its 9 EMA, so got long around this area and basically rode it all the way to the upside. Very, very tight risk, risking about $1.50 and getting nice move to the upside, about $4, $3 to the upside. So very, very good risk to reward trade on CEP. A couple other trades that I took advantage of today were Western Digital. This was the earnings name. It actually flushed off the open with the rest of the market, but with the rest of the market also climbed back up and reclaimed VWAP. So as it reclaimed VWAP over here, you can see how 2 times it tries to push back down, but it's not able to really push lower. So I'm able to get long, add on the pullback, and then taking some profits on the pop, adding again on the pullback, and then taking profits on the pop, and then looking for a breakout long, but that breakout long didn't really have too much juice, and hence I walked away from that one a little bit of a loser. But overall, very clean trade, risking maybe 10-15 cents at best, and you're getting a very clean 50 cents, almost $1 at times pop to the north side. But most of my exits were 50 cents, 60 cents, 50 cents higher. So pretty good risk to reward trade at the end of the day on an earnings name which has reclaimed VWAP. Always love looking for trades like this. I think if the market had the juice that I think the market could have had, sadly market was going into previous levels like yesterday's low, a couple other levels such as the 5-day moving average, the yesterday's VWAP, and so on, even last week's high, so right in this area. So it was very slow and not really explosive of a reversal until later on in the day where market kind of went crazy and closed actually on a very bullish note, right? And you can see here in the after hours how the market continued its bullish tendencies. Part of that I'm gonna say is because of the large cap stocks reporting their earnings report. That is Meta and Microsoft. So big move over here from both of them combined. Monster trades today from the market, and monster trades tomorrow expected also thanks to the earnings reports from those two as I just mentioned. Here are some of the other trades I traded today besides Western Digital. MicroStrategy short scalp. There was another short scalp here that I was looking for, and one more here. I'll be honest, I wasn't as interested on the one here, but maybe I should have been. Because that's basically almost a double top right there. So nice double top and a potential move back down, but this one bottoms out. This over here, triple top, I was very interested to see how this one would play out, but again, buyer and seller just battling each other, constant fight between each other. My risk to reward was very tight, so I was able to grab a nice little winner out of this one, but it would have been nice to do it multiple times and just keep trading the range, just keep scalping the range and having fun with it. CEP, as I mentioned, one of the best trades I had today. Taking that long after it breaks out above high a day, pulls back lower and then starts to climb back up, this is usually the action you really want to see. You can see that range low breaking and then bidders coming back in, buyers coming back in, stepping right back in, and battling against the sellers. Awesome. That's exactly the pattern that I want to be involved in. So punching into the long, taking some profits as the sellers here are still being a little annoying, but then adding that size right back and managing to pretty much have the perfect exit. I'll be honest, I took out this exit because I had to go take a shit. So, I took my profits and I said I'm out. Thankfully, that happened to be the perfect high on CEP, and it didn't really manage to go much higher after that. So nice little longs on CEP today to add to the bank, I guess. Pfizer, I was expecting a lot from Pfizer. Profitable trade. But thankfully that happens because most of my size was down over here, so any size that I added over here was flat. That was a flat trade. So Pfizer, profitable trade, but I was expecting a lot more from the stock as a day 2 trade. Still up 2% on the day, I guess, so not really too bad. Especially when the market gapped down and was red. Pfizer was green on the whole day and the whole session. So maybe tomorrow, if the market wasn't as weak, Pfizer could potentially give us a dip back into 24, or maybe even this 24.20, 24.30 area, and have a potential move to the upside. But I'll be honest, I'm not interested in Pfizer tomorrow at all. I'm more so probably just gonna trade Meta and Microsoft tomorrow, or any of the other large caps and some small caps out there too that I'll be interested in. For example, CEP. Not sure CEP is under the small cap basket. We'll do the research in a bit about that, but CEP very interested because it looks like it's got that mean reversion trade coming into play very, very soon. QBTS, looking for that day 2 short report move. Was weak under yesterday's low already. I think yesterday's low was a little bit higher, so was weak under yesterday's low by selling down and staying under. As it pops into VWAP, getting short. There was another pop here that gets rejected, so adding to my short as it takes out that range low, but it doesn't really have that momentum and that juice I was looking for. And one of Lance's rule, or I guess what is he calls it a heuristic. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, but it's basically the ideology that best trades go for you in your direction right away. They don't really look back. The best trades go in your favor right away. And if you ever read his daily report cards, in there he actually has a statement where a solution for this would be if a stock is not going in his direction within the next 2 to 4 minutes from his entry, he will cut the trade by 50%. That's exactly what I did. And then now I'm looking at the tape, I'm looking at the chart, I'm looking at the tape, I'm looking at the chart. It's just not having the momentum that I wanted to have. So just taking that exit, flat trade, profitable but flat trade. U.S. oil announces that, or not, Saudi Arabia announces that they can live with lower prices for a little bit longer than previously expected. Obviously, they got a shit ton of money, so they can live with that. So USO dropping to the downside off of that news. Right here was that news VWAP. So if you put in a VWAP from that news candle, right here was that news VWAP. And I think today was also the U.S. oil inventories numbers, so probably that coming into play also. Maybe not U.S. oil, but crude futures, crude oil numbers coming into play. So those coming into play overall, bringing the crude market, the CL market down. And that was right here, the VWAP. So that could have been a good short to get into. However, much later, as the stock was breaking the day's low, pulling back and rejecting the 9 EMA, I thought I would give it a try, and then I got stopped out. Was looking for a run into the lower day again, where I would add on the break a lower day for a bigger move down. But I guess at this point, it's just done going down, and There's just no more momentum, no more juice to the downside at that point. So just right back up. Thankfully, took my stop where I needed to and didn't take too much of a hit on that one. UPS took a hit on this one, but doesn't really, not too big of a hit at all. Small loss on this one. Overall, I think this one could have been a big trade. Got under yesterday's levels, flagging into a $94 area, so offering short into the seller and trying to see if the 94 area actually breaks so I can add on the 94 breakdown. But 94 doesn't break, stock pops back into the 95 area almost. And then pushes back down. I'm figuring, okay, if it goes back here and sells back down, clearly sellers here are still adamant, and I can add risking 95 and still be okay with how much I'm risking on the trade. So putting that into my mind, added on that trade. Then as it pushes into that 94 area, we're making a higher low, and then basically moving right back up to VWAP. Now we're above all my average prices, and every single dip is just getting bought up, and it's above my average prices. So I'm not even getting a chance to get out for break even anymore, and I don't want to see what happens at my stop at $95. So why don't I just take a tiny little loss here instead of taking a bigger loss at $95, and hence I walked away from this position. But if you can see, my stop kinda possibly would have triggered. Yes, my stop possibly would have triggered, and I would have been a little bit more tilted at that point, because as soon as I get stopped out, it's basically pulling back down and giving me a break-even exit. This is probably the smarter thing to do, and not pray for a break-even exit and then risk all the way up to your stop. That's just the dumbest thing to do. So I'm happy with what I did over here on UPS and took that quick L. This was my biggest loser on the day, as the market was red off the open, and honestly it was red for the most part of the day too, right? So as the market was red off the open, Nvidia moving to the downside with the help of SMCI, semiconductors taking a little bit of a damage, AI sector taking damage because of SMCI also. So Nvidia pushing down. I figured, okay, a possible chance for me to dance around this 105 area if I see some weakness. And any push we do get above 105, it's actually like 105.40, 105.50. Any chance we do get a push into those areas, it just gets flushed back down. So I'm taking short on the move back below 105, and then I'm aggressively adding on the way down because I saw size on 104.50. That size doesn't actually it does hold for a bit and then it breaks, but then there's no momentum back through. So I'm quickly getting out, and then I'm adding on the pops because I want a better average, but the pop just keeps popping and going higher. So very momentum trading, and not even good momentum trading here. Actually very bad momentum trading over here. Let me turn off the webcam so you can see the chart a little bit better. It's just kind of like tape reading, honestly. Trying to tape read and trying to get lucky to see if the market weakness can continue to help us out on a stock and on a sector that has been bearish today. So just trying to get lucky over here, and my biggest loser on the day. But thankfully, my biggest day of the month, was it my biggest day of the year? My biggest day of the month was today. So I'm very happy with the rest of the day overall. That is basically how my day went, and I do have a watch list already prepared for us, so let's dive into that bad boy. Tonight's watch list is brought to you by Benzinga. If you're interested in this awesome tool that I use every single day in front of you to read earnings reports and so on, but off stream when I'm actually trading in the morning, I listen to their squawk. Their squawk helps me catch some of the news moves and gives me alerts of the movers and so on. And they also have awesome scanners and charting tools built into them. So if you're interested in Benzinga Pro, check out the link below in the description. This is the watch list for tomorrow, starting with some of the big names that report earnings. Let's actually go to the earnings board. That is Microsoft, Meta, Robinhood, Qualcomm, and I'm going to end it right there for the names that report earnings tonight. Some of the names that report earnings tomorrow: pre-market, Lilly, Roblox, CVX, McDonald's, and then I just kind of sprinkled in MasterCard to potentially keep an eye on, because it is a big name, worth keeping an eye on to trade. It's just the lack of volume and the notional value of the stock. I already have Meta. Meta is $500-$600 name, and it does a lot better volume anyways. So if I really want to trade a $500-$600 name, why not just go trade Meta, in my opinion? So that's just something that I think as a day trader. But if the opportunities are there, if the setups are there on MasterCard, then obviously got to take advantage of that. Let's start off with at the top of the board, which is MSFT, Microsoft. I know my good friend Victor said something about Microsoft and Meta. Hi, Prad. Good earnings from Meta and Microsoft. Rally tomorrow. Victor is predicting a rally tomorrow because of because of Microsoft pop and Meta pop, and Microsoft actually getting above this solid resistance level here is actually very good. Solid resistance level, getting above 500. Also that clean psychological level 400, clean psychological level 400, flagged over here above 418, 415, and then broke out. So that's a pretty good move. Also, maybe it's something to do with the conference call that lines up way too well not to be a conference call. So overall, great bullish move. Let's go see if the earnings report actually matches that move completely or not. Is this the one to read? All right, I guess so. 70.07, up 13% year over year. Total revenue beat the estimates of 68.43, not bad. Productivity and business process up 10% year over year. Intelligent cloud up 21%. More personal computing up 6% year over year. Up 20% year over year. Kind of already read that, didn't I? Okay, that's for Microsoft Cloud. What is this one? Commercial cloud revenue 12% up. Microsoft Consumer Cloud for 365 up 10%. Dynamic products and cloud services revenue up 11%. Server products and cloud services revenue up 22%. Everything is up year over year so far. I don't really see anything that's down, so it does match with the move overall. Let's go see if they are actually giving us guidance or not, and they are. Surprisingly, this might be the only company so far that we have read at least. Let me zoom up a little bit so you guys can see it. Microsoft will provide forward guidance on its earnings conference call Wednesday, which will be viewed below. Where? So down over here, I guess I could click that and actually read the conference call stuff if I wanted to. The stock is up 5.5% year over year. That's it. That's sad. It's better than nothing, I guess. Year over year in after hours trading, Wednesday versus 52-week trading range. Okay, that's a 52-week trading range. What did the AI, cloud and AI, essential inputs for business, says the CEO? More cloud AI, more nonsense, more keywords. Only thing that matters right now is the growth across almost every single sector for Microsoft. So this is the earnings VWAP right around 418, 419. It says 418.76. I'll just say 418.50. Round it down a little bit. Then you also have this after hour low, which is right around exactly 415. So beautiful. Love to see numbers like that coming into play. I'm gonna actually put in 418. Screw it. 415, 418.50, which is earnings VWAP, and then as for the resistance, 431, which is where we had in the pre-market. Now the question is, does the stock actually stay above 415 tomorrow on any sort of a dip all through pre-market? If it stays above 415 tomorrow pre-market, there could be longs in pre-market itself, all the way back up to 430. And then for regular day traders like me, I'll have to probably make decisions above 430, or see if the stock pulls back and still has buying somewhere in this area, and so on. So for now, 415 is the level that we can map out. If you want, you could zoom out on a bigger time frame, look at how we're above the 200-day moving average basically. So 413, 414 is the 200-day moving average, and basically staying above 415 at this point, it just automatically makes the stock bullish. You guys couldn't hear my dog. I thought you guys couldn't hear that. But staying above 415 at this point automatically makes the stock very, very bullish of a name to keep an eye on, given the growth and all the other metrics that they gave also, and on their guidance that they guide higher on the earnings conference call. So they did not provide guidance over there. Maybe over here, sees Q4 sales 73.15 to 74 versus 72, so they are guiding higher than estimates. So that's also bullish, and that's probably why you saw that second leg up in the after hours for Microsoft. So I'm actually shocked that it reclaimed the 200-day moving average. Shout out to any of the dip buyers. 415, 200 DMA, or I'll just say 414 because that's where it is. So any dips above that, I am so ready to look long as a day trade. Just no shorts tomorrow until it looks weak below 418. And I'm sure Meta has reclaimed this 200-day moving average too. Let's quickly go to the 5-minute chart here and look at that. So Meta is at 580, 570, and I'm pretty sure the 200-day moving average is right around that area. So 580, 570. Any strength above this tomorrow, automatically I'm interested to look for breakout longs. I mean, you can see how the market's moving in the after hours. I'm sure the blue ocean market, which is the overnight market, if you have Robinhood, if you have Interactive Brokers, I think Charles Schwab has it too now. Maybe not Charles Schwab, I'm not sure. It's the overnight market, which starts at 8 o'clock and goes till 4 o'clock in the morning. So those markets are pretty active, probably with Meta and Microsoft moving, and would be nice to see what they are doing in those markets. I actually probably should be asking my friends, because they will be trading that at 9 o'clock. I know that for a fact. Okay, Meta reporting also after hours today, and the one main thing that everyone was interested on Meta is, what is the capital expenditure going to look like for the next coming AI stuff. Okay, where is it? First quarter revenue 42.31 versus 41.39, 6.43 versus 5.21. That's a pretty good beat. Total revenue in the first 3 months of the year is up 16% in a year-over-year basis. That's a fun way to put it. Family daily active people climbed 6% on a year-over-year basis. Insane. 3.43 billion users out of what, 7 billion people on Earth? Insane. Ad impressions jumped by 5% year over year, and average price per ad increased by 10% year over year. Operating margins totaled to 41%, up from 38% in the prior quarter. Costs and expenses came in at up 9% year over year. Capital expenditures, including principal payments on finance leases, came in okay. What is that? Meta noted its headcount was up 11% year over year to 76,834 employees. We had a strong start to an important year. Our community continues to grow and our business is performing very well. Blah, 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 blah. Second quarter revenue to be in the range of 42.5 to 45 versus 44.06. So that's kind of in the range, is basically around the the estimate, so I don't know how to look at that. That could be looked as a negative or a positive. The high end is not that much higher than the estimate, but the low end is quite a bit lower than the estimate. I guess that's one way to take a look at it. Meta expects full year 2025 expenses to be in the range of 113 to 118, down from prior guidance of 114 to 119. The company anticipates full year expenditure to be 64 to 72. That's up from prior guidance of 60 to 65. The updated outlook refers data centers investments, our intelligence efforts as well. Continue to land. Okay, head. Okay, didn't say anything about cutting their cost measures. There we go. Up from prior, they're increasing their capital expenditure. So Meta sees a full year 2025 capital expenditure to go from 64 to 72 billion, up from previously, which was 60 to 65 billion. So that is actually a bullish thing. That means more money possibly going towards companies like Nvidia, companies like other AI creators, possibly even into acquiring other AI related companies for Meta directly. That way they are able to compete with Google. Meta already has this AI. It's not like they don't have an AI, but I'm just saying to compete with them on a larger scale. I'm not sure how many people actually go out of their way to use Meta AI at the moment instead of just using ChatGPT or Grok or something so easily accessible on your phone, right? I think Meta is easily accessible, but you have to go through the social media apps to use them, which is kind of counterintuitive at that point. Doesn't really when ChatGPT, when I open it, I don't get distracted by, I don't know, like a Formula One car or like someone making a cake or whatever. So ChatGPT kind of helps that way, in my opinion. But Meta AI is still very competitive. I'm not sure how the metrics on Meta AI actually compare to ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT is the highest metric at the point. I think Baba actually said they're better than ChatGPT metrics. DeepSeek said they're better than ChatGPT metrics. Today's cabinet meeting, they said China's not that far behind on AI. So China's actually doing fairly well. China's creating the Huawei chip at the moment to compete with the Nvidia chip. So AI is the name of the game, and the fact that Meta decides to put more money towards AI, that is a very bullish thing for all things AI. Nvidia, Meta, Microsoft, Google, and it's not like the money is going into Google and Microsoft. It's mainly going into Nvidia and server makers like probably Dell, SMCI, VST. I think VST is the other one, or is it VRT? I always confuse the tickers as to which one is the stock that works with AIs. Is it VST or VRT? It's one of these two stocks. So all of these stocks will start to take advantage of that. SMCI, however, they did guide lower, so that is not sure how that one's going to be playing out. Anyways, coming back to Meta, positive report, everything green and move to the upside also. At this point, staying above the 200-day moving average, right where the lines that I already have are drawn. So staying above the 200-day moving average tomorrow is an automatic long on this one also. Very similar to what the Microsoft plan is. Let's go to Robinhood. Robinhood, did you go up or down? You kind of had, I guess you did go up, but almost a nothing burger move on Robinhood. So let's quickly go read how the report is. 37 cents per share versus 32 cents. Not bad. The increase of 15%. This is a 105% increase over earnings of 18 cents per share from same period last year. Company reported 927 million, which beat estimates of 922 million. This is a 50% increase over same period last year of 618 million. That's a pretty good number if you ask me. Anything about their guidance. Couple other metrics over here. Cryptocurrency revenue up 100% year over year. Options revenue up 56%. Equities revenue up 44%. Up 8%. Up 11%. Up 70%. Growth rate of 37%. I'm trying to see if there's anything that went down. Everything is just, year to year to a record, year to year to a record. Everything is just kind of increasing all across the board. So things are looking great for these guys. And this crypto adoption has only helped them out. So as I think the idea is still same over here on Robinhood. From compared to the last few days on my notes, if you guys are watching me, you already know the answer. It is the $50 area. If Robinhood can show you buying above 50, I would love to get long. But if it's not staying above 50, I just don't care about getting long at all. But if it stays above 50, I think this one could be one of those Palantir type IPOs. Not that it's an IPO, but you can see how Palantir, which IPO'd around the same time, around 2021 2020, and is now at a much higher price. This could be one of those hidden gems, hidden dogs that end up going all the way back up to insane prices. So keep an eye on this one, as some of the I think what Trump said, he wants to make America the home of crypto and the home of AI and the home of everything, right? So if that ends up actually working out, cryptocurrency is looking fairly bullish, MicroStrategy is looking bullish, Bitcoin's looking bullish, at least I want to say when I say cryptocurrency is looking bullish, and it is going up. MicroStrategy earnings tomorrow, yeah, another reason to keep an eye on this. I didn't know MicroStrategy was earnings tomorrow. Let's go take a look at this. It is earnings tomorrow after hours. Okay, so tomorrow after hours we'll have to for sure talk about this one. But hey, I gave you the call out at 340. The stock is now at 380. You can thank me by, what can you do for me? By hitting the like and hitting the subscribe if you haven't already. The views are dying down, chat. The views are dying down. All right. So Robinhood, always on the watch, because I usually put it in the same basket as the cryptocurrency stocks. But now that I reported earnings, that $50 area is going to be a very simple level to keep an eye out for. Qualcomm has a nice little flat top right at $150, and with it reporting after hours, the $150 flat top does not matter at all, because we're going to sell off on Qualcomm. Let's quickly go skim through the report over here and see why they flushed. Yes, I know they're trading lower, but can I see why? Second quarter, 10.84, up 15% year over year, compared to estimates of 10.65, so that's a beat. 2.85, up 17% year over year versus 2.81, that's a beat. Qualcomm has now beaten for revenue in 8 straight quarters. Shout out to them. Qualcomm revenue was up 18% year over year. Segment revenue breakdowns: handsets up 12%, automotive up 59%, Internet of Things up 27%. All things are looking great. Qualcomm is guiding third quarter earnings per share to be 2.6 to 2.8 versus 2.67. That also looks good to me. Is guiding in the range of 1.15 to 1.35 versus and QCT revenue in the range of 8.7 to 9.3. Is there any estimates? I don't really see any estimates, but not sure why it's getting sold off the way it did. Everything looks good. They're growing year to year. The AI is looking like it's back in play. Qualcomm makes chips. They're in the semiconductor. They're also in the AI business, if I can just randomly put that name to them. But semiconductor business, and I guess SMCI kind of ruined it today for them. But this report should help them out, but not at all. That report actually dumping the stock completely to the downside and pushing back into previous levels. So 130, 140. If you go back into the 5-minute chart, you can see how 133 is last week's low. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's very much just boxed in the upper end of this range tomorrow because of its report. At which point any pops into yesterday's low, I might look to get some short. And if it shows me strength above 140, I might just get long for a move into 145. So not really as bearish as the move overall, but if the stock is holding on the lower end of this range, which would basically mean the 140 area, if it's holding below 140, then I would look for a short maybe into 130 or something, and look for some action at that point. So ideal price would be 140, but I'm honestly a little surprised with the downside move. But that is a level right there. Pre-market would change things. If the stock is already well below 140 tomorrow, then I'm gonna have to make up with the new game plan and see what exactly is going on with the stock. So that's the downside of these late night streams, because we don't really have the insight of the future as to what the pre-market's doing. But a couple permutations doesn't hurt, visualizing some of the permutations and being ready for them the next day. Eli Lilly making a pop before even it reports earnings. Okay, Eli Lilly, I see you. Nice little run up on LLY, I guess, with the rest of the market going up. But this name reports tomorrow pre-market, $1,000 name. So be ready for a very wild spread if you are trading this. A couple other stocks reporting tomorrow pre-market: Roblox, CVS, McDonald's, and MasterCard. That is going to be the gist of the earnings watch list. Right after that, we have SMCI, which today did pop higher. But with that guidance, I think I'm going to mainly be looking for a short. So looking for pops to short into. I was expecting $30 area to be a resistance. It was not. So still watching to see where the resistance comes into play, and then I will be looking to get short. I actually have to locate to short the stock, which doesn't make sense, because even Interactive Brokers has free shorts for SMCI, but my broker doesn't, which is so stupid. Like, it's absolutely insane. But anyways, that's like a personal complaint, and it's not like the shares cost a lot to buy anyways, to locate. But it's just the annoying thing that I have to do it, because when I do it, I feel like I have to go out of my way to find a trade so I can make that money back that I paid for the shorts. It's just a stupid cheap mentality type of thing, right? But I'm just glad that even though I located for the shorts today, I tried. I was like, tell me, where is a short? Is this a short? Is this a short? Is that a short? Is that a short? And no matter what I tried to look to justify to get into a short, I just did not see a reason to do that, and hence no trade on it today at all. But also the stock did what? Just kept going higher the whole day after the open. So smartest thing to do probably was to stay away from it, or you could have also gone long if that was your cup of tea. Overall, I think I'll be watching this one for some sort of a reversal back down tomorrow. But the overall market right now is kind of going nuts. So with the market going nuts, maybe you just want to focus on the large cap stocks. Speaking of which, Tesla didn't really make a pop over here with the AI news, but not the AI news, with the Microsoft and Meta earnings catalyst. But you see Nvidia making a pop, right? Nvidia going higher. So this one will be interesting. I want to see if Apple and Amazon making a move. Wow, Apple actually going opposite direction. Apple selling off to the downside. Amazon making a pretty good rally here. Back to the north side goes Amazon. And what about Google? I'm expecting higher. A nice little spike on Google also. So keep in mind which stocks were not moving or actually went lower. That's going to be your Apple, and that's going to be your Tesla. The rest of the large cap basically went higher and followed the market. So if the market goes higher tomorrow, plus possibly look for a long on Nvidia, on Amazon, on Google, on Meta, on Microsoft. But if the market is selling off tomorrow for some reason and you want to go short, then you already know which ones to keep an eye out for: Tesla and Apple. Very simple logic over there. Obviously, that's not like a blind trade logic. It's something that you still want to confirm with tape and a setup tomorrow, but it's just something to keep an eye out for in the back of your head. MicroStrategy says Dieter said reports earnings tomorrow after hours. So the chances are the stock actually does nothing tomorrow. But we'll see. If Bitcoin moves, MicroStrategy potentially goes with it too. But on the day before its earnings, in the after hours, usually chances are the stock doesn't do too much, and you can see how the volume is dying down also. So we'll keep an eye on this one, obviously, especially if Bitcoin is moving. If Bitcoin starts to break out of this range high, then things would get very wild. Trust me, it would get very exciting and very, very wild. Until then, they're just going to be in the watch list over there. The only reason I shorted MicroStrategy today is because I figured it was a very easy trade. You know, not expecting the stock to get above yesterday's high. Bitcoin's not really doing a whole lot, so if I short around yesterday's high, I'm only risking about like what $2-3, and I could easily get a move into VWAP because of the weakness. But no, it didn't give me that easy move into VWAP. Buyers were holding it up, so shout out to them. But eventually 1, 2, 3 triple top, you did get the move to VWAP much later. So that was the idea. Tomorrow again, if there is you know, some sort of a weakness right around today's high, right around yesterday's high, then I might look for some sort of a short scalp. But that's all I'm really doing, because it's a day trade, right? I'm not trying to say screw Dieter and short Microsoft because of that. I'm just trying to scalp the trade, see if it's there. But if it's actually getting above here and then on dips holding above this area, I would love to get long. I just don't know if it's going to have too much juice without Bitcoin breaking out, and also given the fact that tomorrow night is its earnings day. So that's going to be something to keep a note for. Coinbase, you could say 200 over under, but you know, once again, Bitcoin needs to really start moving for me to care about it. Coinbase volume also dying down big time, so not something to potentially keep an eye out for. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is basically the watch list for tomorrow. Most of it is the large cap, most of it is Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia. And CEP is a big one. Almost forgot about CEP. You can see how this stock was not too long ago at $12. The 50-day moving average is at $13, basically $12.81. And this stock is at $42.13. So you could say a little extended on the daily chart. And looking forward to see if there would be some sort of a mean reversion, short opportunity on CEP to take advantage in. The shorts on this stock is actually fairly cheap, so you know, I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, but very interested to see how this one sets up in the next few days, as it's going absolutely crazy. I don't even know what the news is for this one, but it's going absolutely crazy. So do not ignore CEP on the watch list. But yes, that's all she basically wrote for tomorrow. I got nothing else besides that. TraderPrad, something has earnings tomorrow morning with a short flow of 16. Who am I? I have no clue. Stop playing these games with me. I don't have patience. What is it, Momo? Momo, are you talking about Siri? I'm not trading Siri, Momo. mRNA, even more of a reason to not trade it. We'll see. If it has volume and if it pushes back above some other ranges, I'll think about it. But for now, I'm not really thinking about it, because with Microsoft and Meta, I'm more focused with those names tomorrow. And that is the watch list. That's the icing on the cake is the Microsoft and Meta, not mRNA, not Zim, not Pfizer, none of these ones. An IPO today did go a little crazy, but it was also very illiquid, so I'm not sure there's anything I want to do with that one. And it is the end of the month, so anything for May. Ooh, some names over here. Aspen Insurance. I remember seeing this name before. Did they sign up for an IPO and then cancel it? I think something like that. Aspen Insurance Holdings Limited IPOing on May 8th, and American Integrity Insurance Group also IPOing on May 8th. Both of them not as big of an offer amount, but bigger than normal. So as we get closer to May 8th, we'll talk about that stock. That should be right around next week, Thursday. So we'll talk about that next week, Wednesday. Welcome to May. Well, not yet. We're still in April. Hopefully your April was great. Mine ended on a great note. I wish you guys a banger May and myself too. And let's see what we can make out of it. May is coming in and coming in hot with the banger earnings season with Microsoft, Meta first. Then we have Amazon coming up too, with the market looking like it bottomed out and it looks like it wants to absolutely rip the face off to the shorts and run higher. So if the market is bottoming out, especially with how today's close, you saw the run up tonight into the close, very bullish, right? So if the market is bottoming out, very fun bull market right around the corner. Continuing jobless claims tomorrow at 8:30. Initial jobless claims, S&P Global Manufacturing at 9:45. ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 o'clock. So pretty active day tomorrow for a Thursday. So be ready. We could get some nasty spikes on the market. Today's economic number was not good, so that actually dropped the market. But the rest of the day we actually spent going higher. But we'll see if these numbers come out good, coupled with the earnings from Microsoft and Meta and the fact that Meta is going to increase the capital expenditure. All things combined, with the econ data too, we might just kickstart the next bull rally. So we'll see if that ends up being true. So very fun times on the market. It is time to roll out the outro and wish you guys the best of the day tomorrow. Very good, very good luck. What am I saying? Good luck tomorrow for May 1st. And let's make this money, baby. Thanks for coming out. TraderPrad out. Peace. Tech basket get destroyed. Get ready for trade off of. Get ready for the